All right, Jeff, thanks for joining us. I want you to come on. We're trying to, share with people information that maybe we don't come in contact with that often. And I think reverse mortgage definitely applies to that. It's one of those things probably you only find out about it when you need one. Would you share a little bit with us about your Citizens Lending Group and kind of what you guys do with respect to reverse mortgages?
Sure. Citizens Lending Group specializes in reverse mortgages for seniors. Happens to be an FHA program from the Federal Housing Administration and HUD, Housing Urban Development. And it's a program for people that are 62 years of age and older and that own a home, have equity, and want to stay in their home.
Okay. Can you tell me, a little bit more about, who determines if they're eligible for one of these reverse mortgages?
Well, FHA provides us with a software program, and it takes into consideration the equity that they have in their property, the age of the youngest individual on title, and the interest rates. And right now, we're at an all-time low in interest rates. So with that being said, there's a formula that we use. It's a software program that's used throughout the nation, provided basically by FHA, and it's how we all calculate who's eligible and how much money they can get.
Well, if for people, especially around California area, with as expensive as homes are, what type of limits are there that affect some of these reverse mortgages?
Well, that's a great question because the limit was just raised from the 765.6 to now, as of January 1st, 822, 350.
Okay, awesome. Now, is there a limit on time of how much money they can take out, or is that the limit that you're talking about?
No, the limit is the maximum amount of value that we can give on the house.
Okay.
If the house is worth $1 million, the exact number is 822,375. So that has just been raised as of January 1st.
Mm-hmm.
So for people that have equity, or let's say someone has $1 million home, they just have more equity, but the limit, the value limit that FHA is able to give is the 822,375.
Okay. Can you maybe give us some examples of some people that you worked with recently and how you've been able to help them, maybe get out from drowning in some debt?
Sure. Husband and wife. He was receiving $2,000 a month in Social Security. The wife was receiving $1,000 a month, and their mortgage payment was $1,300 a month. So they really pushed me to get this done right away. And we were able to do it relatively quickly within 30 days. And when we were done, Bob, the husband, he had called me because he felt like he was a little rough on me, pushing me. And I said, no, I said, Bob, it's fine. Everything's good. The loan is done. And he said, I'm calling you to thank you. He said, I didn't tell you because I didn't know if it would affect the loan, but I've got stage 4 cancer. And I just want to make sure that Mary is okay when I go, because as he explained to me, Mary will receive the greater of the Social Security, which is his $2,000 a month. There will be absolutely no payment, and she'll have money to live on after he's gone. So, people use this for different reasons, and there's no one way or right way. So in their particular instance, we were able to eliminate the payment, which really means their payment was deferred until A, she decides to sell, or B, she passes away. So with that being said, we were able to eliminate the payment, establish a line of credit that she could draw on as she needs it.
I would imagine you come into contact with some stories like that are kind of hard and tug on your heart a bit.
They do, and everybody's got a different story, and there's no one or right way, but I see this helping people all the time. Ever since FHA has taken this over years ago, things have changed. There's no expensive high rates. All the rates and fees are governed by FHA, whether you're in New York, Florida, California. It's all the same, whether you're black, white, yellow, green. There's no discrimination. So I think it's a great program that helps people in different ways.
Now, if someone does this affect their ability to still pass on a piece of property to their children or their heirs or anything like that?
No, if they're smart, everyone would have a living trust. And most everybody that I talk to, I tell them this because it allows, even when they're gone, the ability for the trust. Everyone's got to follow the trust, and whoever you want that to get that property once you're gone, it'll be in the trust. They'll be the trustee, and they can do with whatever it is they want with that property once they're gone. They can sell it, pay off the bank. They can refinance it and keep that property. It makes no difference to FHA.
Awesome. Now, if for someone that's, like you said, was getting Social Security and stuff like this, does having a reverse mortgage affect anything with a pension or a Social Security or anything like that, Jeff?
It doesn't affect it in any way. It only enhances it, because for a lot of people that have a payment, we're able to eliminate it or defer it. And for people that have no payment, that own their property outright, that are not making mortgage payments, we're able to tap into the equity so that they can use the equity that they have in their home to live out the golden years.
Awesome. Are there any other questions or kind of things that you hear from time to time that are kind of misnomers in the industry?
Well, there were some bad things about the reverse mortgage in years past, but those have all been straightened up. One of the things was, if we had a husband that was 62 and a spouse that wasn't, years ago they would take that spouse off the title. And then when the husband did pass away, his income is gone. And so now the spouse, the wife, would have to sell the property. And if I said she's on the street, she'd sell the property and have whatever equity that was in that property after the loan was paid for. A quick story is, it's got to be a year ago. I don't get home one night until about 8:30. I didn't call my wife. I should have. She was making dinner, and I get home, and my wife says, "Where have you been?" I said, I had a client that came in about 5:30, and I said, lucky for me, Frank, my assistant, stayed to help with the kids. My wife said, "Help with kids? You deal with seniors." And I said, "Well, honey, I couldn't have made this one up if I tried. Here I go." Ali was 71. His wife was 38. They had 4 boys under 5 years old.
Wow.
True story. Well, I thought she was a mail order bride. It turns out, before I could close the loan, the underwriters wanted to see the wedding marriage certificate. Now, it just so happened that she was from Lebanon, and Ali paid a dowry to her father, and it was right there in black and white on the paper. Ali paid 5,000 US American dollars, 2 ounces of gold, and 2 goats. So it's still going on in the world. She got to come to America. Ali had a wife. God bless Ali and God bless her. But they came to America, and they could see the system. And when Ali does pass away, she and those boys will be able to live in that house for the rest of their life, no matter what happens to the economy, whether values go up, values go down, as long as she continues to pay the property taxes and the homeowner's insurance and keep the house maintenance up, she can live in that house for as long as she's alive.
Wow, that's an interesting one. We have a question here from LinkedIn. Brent asks, when the last survivor passes, who owns the title? Do you just have a lien against the title?
Okay, good question. Thanks, Brent. The way that it works is, when the last one passes, the property goes to whoever your heirs, whoever you want to get that property. Then they have the opportunity to A, refinance that property and keep it, or B, sell that property, pay off the reverse mortgage, and keep the property. So actually, when the last one passes, you've got 6 months plus 6 months. I say this because there's a 6-month a period of time, and if you need more time, all you have to do is call the bank, tell them what your plans are, and they'll extend that time, still without payments. So, in fact, a good friend of mine, his mom had a reverse mortgage, and she passed away, and he was distraught, called me because he knew I did reverse mortgages, and he said, well, what do we do? And I said, well, what are your plans? He says, well, the house needs a little bit of work. Me and my brother are going to do the work so that we can get the highest value for the house. And I said, just call the bank, tell them what your plan is, and they'll give you the time that you need. And sure enough, he called me back. He said, you're right on. Thank you for the advice. And they ended up repairing the house, putting it on the market, and it fetched the higher price because of the repairs that they did. Thanks, Brent.
Yeah, that was a great question. Well, is there anything else that you think people may be interested in knowing, or anything else you'd like to share just about the reverse mortgage industry in general?
Well, when people call me, my job is to educate them about the program, and they can determine if this is something that fits their needs. After they determine that, there is a process that they have to go through. And the first thing is they have to do a over-the-phone counseling with an FHA-approved counselor. And the counselor is going to make sure that I've done my job in educating these people before they can go forward. Once they go through that counseling, there's a 7-day waiting period. It's called a cooling off period here in California. So there's a 7-day cooling off period. On the 8th day, we can order a case number, order the appraisal, and push this forward. So with Citizens Lending Group right now, typically the time to close a loan, if I said 30 business days, between 30 and 40 days, that's pretty much how it works. So I say that because other people, clients have called me and they tell me that it's taken a long time and they're still not done, and why is it so? And I don't know. I don't know what's going on with other companies, but I know that we're able to get these through right away. We focus. I'm the guy that helps my clients from start to finish. So anytime they've got a question, they can call me directly on my cell phone. Just don't call me at 4 a.m. I won't be wearing my khakis.
Are there any loans that maybe are more difficult they would encounter, say maybe a balloon payment loan or a VA loan or anything like that?
It doesn't make any real difference on what type of loan that we're paying off. Generally, we do have to prove that you're getting either Social Security or a pension. And that's the benefits letters are required. If the property is already in a trust, we require a copy of the living trust. Our attorneys will verify it, verify that the client is protected with that trust. And then we can move forward to put the loan in the trust. Now, I say that because most other loans, and let's call the other loans forwards as opposed to a reverse, most forward loans, a refi, a purchase, are put in the individual's name. And once they're in the individual's name, then they put it into the trust. Reverse mortgages are put directly into the trust, so it never has to come out.
Okay. We have another question from Brent. He says, what if I live longer than the value of my home?
That's a good question. I'll tell you that my oldest client is 100 years old, a very successful guy. He's owned ice cream companies. I can't tell you which ones. But when I asked him why he's getting a reverse mortgage, he told me that he never thought that he would outlive his money. However, to answer your question, It doesn't matter how long you live. The reverse mortgage isn't a 15 or a 30-year loan. It's a lifetime loan. So if you live to 130, God bless you. No one's ever going to kick you out of your home.
Wow, that's amazing. So if anyone that's watching this in the future has any questions about reverse mortgages, what's the best way to contact you, Jeff?
Well, my cell phone, 714-343-2643. That's a direct line to me. Once again, 714-343-2643. That's direct.
Awesome. And do you have a website that they can take a look at? Have they have any questions?
We do. It's citizensreversemortgage.com.
Great. All right, Jeff. Well, thanks a lot. I know that, like I said, when a lot of times when these things happen, people don't have any reference points. So I think the more we can kind of get information out there to help people with them so that when they have questions, they know who to contact is a good thing to do. So I really want to thank you for coming on and sharing some information today.
All right. Well, thank you, Glenn. I appreciate it. And thank you, Brent, for the questions. Somebody is watching.
Yes. All right. Have a good day.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.